and welcome back to Clovis County episode 3. So the goal today is build up the beach area a little bit. I don't plan on fully doing this, but we're going to focus on this central area right here and expand it out this way a little bit and probably slightly over this way as well. I'm going to use a custom casino asset and create somewhat of a Atlantic City, Myrtle Beach, style boardwalk. So I want, taking inspiration from Atlantic City, I plan on having a very urbanized area in here with larger buildings interspersed with commercial uses along the beach, and a couple of very large casino style structures. I have something that I planned out in a practice build that I think came out kind of nice that I want to do with you guys. And outside of that, we're going to expand our population a little bit, as I need to hit about 3,600, I believe, for the next milestone. Let's check so I can get the tourism assets unlocked. Now, I'll be using a lot of Find It to put specific assets in there, but I do want to have those unlocked for something like the beach volleyball and things like that. One of the things I'm going to do to start off is immediately start placing down about where I want my boardwalk area to terminate. One of the issues that I am having right now is the beach area. I want this whole area to be a pedestrianized sandstone pathway, and that interferes with the parks, which is something that I need in order to place the beach assets that I want to use, which is these custom realistic functioning beaches. If I place them in a park zone, then they will be able to be placed on paths and won't require road access, which is what I need to position them to the water correctly so they look right. So unfortunately, I can't seem to find a good way to do that because the pedestrian district and the park districts will then overlap. So my workaround to this is once I get up into some of this industrial area anyway, I really probably don't want the boardwalk going past this, so I will place a park area over here for the time being. This will likely be temporary, and then that way I can draw out some of my assets, or some pathways, which I can connect these assets to. So in the play testing, I just kind of place these down while I do the rest of the setup for the episode and let them grow as they will. I do plan on making these paths invisible at some point, but I do want to be able to see them in the meantime so I can place things along them as I need to. So they're going to look a little bit ugly to begin with, but I think the final effect is pretty cool and should accomplish what I'm looking for. I still haven't come up with my final answer for what I want to do about the park area itself, but I figure if I get it down now, I can start to upgrade it a little bit, and it should be ready to go by the time I'm ready to move into that. So I'm going to place one final, and this is going to be super temporary park gate up until I pedestrianize. And hopefully, as we develop this downtown area, this beachfront area, some people will filter into here. I am having issues in the playtest build of just really not getting this park upgraded very quickly. I do need Anarchy on to place this how it needs to be placed. And we'll just start putting these down. I plan on at some point going through and detailing further on the beach, probably in some form of a time lapse at the end of the episode. But in the meantime, we'll get these down. Probably one more there. Looks pretty good. Some of them may be a little too deep, but we can move around. You can really start to see, like, yeah, these are going to be probably far too deep. So once we start getting people spawning, we'll see how they look like in the water. Probably have to push them back a little bit. Not a big deal. So I wanted to get that in very first thing that we do. I do need to expand out the population grid, so I will do that most likely in a time-lapse form. So let me take care of that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so that should give us a little bit of a start. Plan now is to start developing a casino area. So I want to have something, I think I said in the previous episode, pretty cool right in this space here. I do like using these, what are these called? Glass roof plazas. I think this is a cool entry into our little beach area. And what I want to do is build a large parking facility coming off of this. So get Anarchy back on. I think if we come out about 15 units in either direction, this should give us a good start. And then I'm going to have to adjust that probably a little bit. Let's see how those parking spaces show up. So one nice thing about this tool is if you hold on Alt, it lets you keep it kind of straight as you make your adjustments. So I want to just have that concrete kind of poking out there to give a nice little barrier right there. And now let's see how these fit. Perfect. So I definitely, this is one of the things that I planned out pretty extensively, making this work, making this look nice. We'll fill this in with surface painter a little bit. And that is about what I'm looking for. Now I downloaded, here's my endless struggle with mods, since I'm not very good with them. I downloaded this weather, or this play it mod, so I could adjust the daylight speed. And somehow it keeps kicking the rain back on. I don't really want that right now. So it looks like power does not want to jump here, so that's annoying. So let's just put that up this way for now. And then I'm going to hold off on, actually no, we will get that jumping for the time being. Perfect. So the asset that I went out and got is called the link. I believe I found this in the Vegas, I think, casinos collection that King Leno had. I don't know if this is his asset or not. This looks, I believe this is his symbol, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But it is a very nice little asset, and I think using it along with some of the pools, you can make a very nice little casino setup. So what I end up doing here, what I want to do is get these so they are right pretty much on the road. And then this one is going to be right here. And I'm going to try to incorporate these to kind of make this look like one larger building. So if I bring this right up to here, now it's not perfect, but it is pretty good. So I want that coming like that. Put it right about like that. So this is almost, once I put the other one in place, it'll kind of look like these two buildings are connected, and you would be able to come in either entrance, essentially, you know, most casinos, you would go to your... Oh, there we go. That's helpful. Somehow I duplicated this, though. That's weird. So let me move it back on. And I want to swing this around. Perfect. And then bury this kind of in here. Yes, excellent. So it almost has this like hotel tower kind of look. And that's really what I was going for. I think it works out rather nicely. Some of the other casino assets I downloaded are all very large. You know, they're all Vegas casinos. Not really something I have the space for, and they kind of stick out a little bit. They seem out of place with some of the other buildings in the game. So I didn't end up using a lot of what I went out, because I did download like 30 different assets to try out. But I like this one, and I'm going to throw a pool in with it, and I think it really makes this nice casino complex that works very well with this boardwalk kind of thing that we're gonna start building out here. Let's check on our park. How are we doing? 127. Nothing. Nothing. Nobody wants to use it. Maybe I'll drop a bus system in, try to get some people on there. So now we go back in here and we look for the pool. And I use this Oasis pool asset, which let's just drop it in. Put it right up to about here. I don't know why it does this to me. Alright. So we'll get that in, and then make a very small connection right here. Perfect. And then what I want to do is add another parking facility on this side, and we're going to add an entrance right here. So get that up. Parking lot. We're going to have to come up like that. And then let's do a little adjusting here. You know what? I don't remember it looking this bad. I really don't like this. I must have done something. Can I do that? Can I just come off of there? Yeah, that should work. Nope, wrong one. Nope. Here we go. So if we enable our prop snapping, and then we'll find ourselves a nice path here. I do kind of like the zoo path sometimes. And if we just stretch that back, it almost, other than that bench, can I? Yes, perfect. Make it look kind of better. Stretch that back, and then what I'm going to do is, if I can find this, so we have that path, we'll link up with the end of it, and bring it out like right there. So in effect, people that take that path will end up looking like they're walking in and out of this building. One of the things about these buildings is I turned them into Rico and made them residences. I don't know if that makes a ton of sense. I was going back and forth between commercial versus residence, but I thought it might help get some people into this area a little bit and, you know, really make this area look populated. See, all those little people going right in those doors there. So that's really what I was looking for, was to make this casino look busy. And I can just do that. And that's exactly what I'm looking for there. So now this pool looks very out of place. So it's just wide open, right? This is not something you would expect to see. So we can go in, and I want to grab a fence, and we'll just come right along the edge, and we'll have to use move it to adjust this to our liking. But we can just come right along the edge here. And this is much more what I would expect to see with a pool, is have some form of, you know, fence surrounding it so people can't just walk in, walk out wherever they please. But we do want to obviously be able to dump people out. And again, this will become a boardwalk at the end of this build, or by the end of this build. Alright, now we have our casino essentially up and running. So let's add a connecting road in through here. One of the things we want to pay attention to or really think about is all these areas, because this is going to be pedestrianized. We want, if you look at the Google Earth, overlooking Atlantic City, you see a lot of parking. So that's definitely one thing we want to keep in mind, because this is going to be one giant boardwalk, and we're going to have areas like this that would draw a large need for parking facilities. So while we're in here, let's add in a little bit of commercial for our casino area. Since we are at the casino, you might imagine that you have some form of club. We'll use this one that might pop up nearby, possibly even run by the casino itself. In fact, you'd probably imagine this entire area is casino operated businesses. So can we turn this and kind of attach it to this parking lot? Perfect. And then what else do we want there? That looks much more of a good beachfront asset. And then we'll put this one. Right here, like so. And then when we get to our detailing later, we'll decorate that up a little bit. Put some landscaping in there. And that should be our first casino facility area. So after that, I'm really thinking of utilizing this space for shopping and the different various things you might see popping up along the beach here. So I do want to use the new content creator moles, which I believe were King Leno, and they tend to look best on very straight roads. So let's maximize our space usage in here by making this nice and straight, and then we'll snap, roads through on these connecting streets. So this will give people a lot of access to the different areas as we build them out. Also, I grabbed some, because I don't want to just be using these parking lot roads all the time. And actually I didn't put the parking spaces in this one, so that's completely useless. Probably not going to fit the 8. Check 3, 3, 3. I don't go necessarily crazy with putting handicap parking in. Obviously, you would expect to see something like that. Where this reality here, you would have handicap spaces. It's a tedious process to me having to go into that and remember to do it every single time. So, sorry for the lack of realism. Alright, perfect. So, this is where we're going to start to fill in the various uses that we might find. One thing I want to make sure I get in here is plenty of these little beachfront kind of restaurants and things. Things that you might expect. I actually think that would look better beachside. I want to have a couple of the assets that we're going to place on this side, beach bar style things. You know, some of the beach volleyball. But yeah, in Atlantic City, you really see this back and forth of, you know, there's a casino here, but then there's just like little shops and things, and then there's another casino, and then there's little shops along the way. So that kind of, there is really it almost ups and downs of the height. So we're going to do something similar. 2x3 game arcade. Let's do the 3x4 game arcade. And this is where I imagine we'll get in a couple of the hotels. Again, I don't have a ton of the casino assets, but these hotels look enough like touristy, resorty, could be casinos. I don't care for these as much, so I'll probably avoid using those. Really just mix and match, you know, what you're seeing in here. To develop this nice boardwalk area. And then on the other side is kind of where I want to dive into the mall's content. So if we go to DLC and then no, not mid-century modern. What is this thing called? Shopping malls. There we go. And into the shopping malls, we can start to pop in some of these. So before I forget to add it, let's add a little bit of parking in there. Right off the main drag. Perfect. Alright, so start filling these out. I like these a lot because you can really just intermingle them, and they really have this great effect. See, I can kind of just pop them around, and they just work. They work very well together. And we should be able to fit 2 right there. Perfect. Yeah, I think those look really good. And I'll make this nice little commercial strip. One of the things I want to think about is pedestrian access. So as we're going through here, we can really kind of pay attention to how our buildings are placed and make sure that we have pedestrian facilities going through, connected to these parking areas. And at the end, I will definitely detail up the rear of these buildings. Yeah, so that's another block filled out there, kind of expanding our beach area. Use some of the shopping malls, I think, to good effect. And then one of the things I want to think about too is we have all these malls and these casinos and these, you know, areas where you would have a lot of commercial, but you'd probably have like executives and planners and things. So we would need some form of office space for some of them. And let me get rid of that. Let's check out maybe some of the 4x4s. Something that really fits in pretty well. The nice thing about these offices is, unlike industry offices, blend pretty well with the rest of your downtown. So if I pop that guy right in there, you know, maybe that's where the financial people for your casino go. And maybe that right there. And then the other thing is you have to figure not everybody is going to be able to afford to stay in the casino. I know when I was young and I went to Atlantic City, we stayed not in one of the casinos, and we ended up staying in this little motel, which was pretty sketchy. So we want to get some stuff like that in there to give us a good opportunity to utilize our new content creator stuff, get these things start leveling up. It does look like, you know, they're really going to want the landscaping that will come later on. Oh, nice. Okay, that leveled up. I may use the viewing decks a little bit, we'll see. But now I'm starting to realize that I placed level 3 commercial buildings, and that's a bad idea. I should have sorted those by level. See, that's, again, something I tend to mess up with using Find It. I place these level 3 commercial buildings, and then, I don't have the educated workers at this point in the city yet, and it creates some issues. Sometimes you can get rid of these by forcing the downgrade. We'll see if that works. Oh boy. What have I done? Pay attention to your city. Pay attention to the city. So, I want to get these functioning about as efficiently as possible. So I am going to do a small amount of landscaping now to see if I can get them going. So again, I want to have, like almost like little alleyways that you might get back through here. But you figure even maybe if these are crappier, budget style hotels, they'd probably still have some kind of landscaping going on, really trying to focus in on that tropical vibe or something. There we go. I do need a couple more, probably plant assets someplace. Put these right up alongside the building there. Never good for your foundation to have plants alongside the building, but still have all these assets that I got for a different city in here. I was playing around on the Thessia map that Overcharged Egg was using, kind of playing along with his playthrough. That's a cool little bit of fun when you're watching, the content creators, and you can do a little play along on the same map. Really enjoyed that. But now, obviously, I'm doing this. See how this works out for me. Hopefully this is actually doing something for that desire for landscaping there. I don't actually know if he's, I guess I'll find out in a minute, but if these small bushes contribute to that score, that would be, I guess, a good thing to check on. I mean, that makes a huge difference, right? Like, before and after. If I could have done a side by side. I do hate how these, when you zoom out, they look dead. It's, maybe I need to get ultimate level of detail or something along those lines. Well, it brought it from 0 to 9, right? I think it was at 0. So all these hotels are very profitable now, getting us off to a good start for moving up to level 2. We have a full block done now. Not enough customers. Now we need to work on the residential demand. And looks like that doesn't have water, so that's an oversight on my part. Garbage trucks in use 0. Is that just because it didn't have water? I mean, there's plenty of garbage that needs to be picked up, right? Garbage trucks in use 10. Oh, it's full. So that's what it is. It's processing, but it's full. So let's see if we can get this to stabilize a little bit. Oh, God. Really got to stay on top of these things better. How's my cemetery doing? 250 of 3,000. That's not bad. That's not bad. But I do need to get some people in here. So let's drop in another couple of residential zones there. 1, 2, 3. And that'll give them room to expand. And perfect. Hopefully the garbage will stabilize a little bit. And let me turn that into a small traffic circle, right? I think that will help with a little bit of the traffic issues. Some of the congestion, maybe. Perfect. I mean, things are looking good. One thing I'm realizing is I don't have a connection down there. Definitely want something like that in. Why are you trying to? Oh, probably because it's steep, right? Doesn't look terribly steep. How's our park coming along? 684 out of 2,500. That's gonna be a while. Alright, so I don't have enough money. One thing I was doing when I was testing this build was I was playing at a much higher speed. So I got through the milestones, and I had tax base, and it all came a lot quicker. So that's my fault. So given I don't quite have the milestones or the money to place some of the stuff that I thought I was going to, really what I wanted to do was get another casino down here. Probably using the actual in-game casino asset. This one right here. Get that down there. And then I was going to use, or I will use, I should say when we get around to it, one of the other unique buildings to put down some form of like a tower. So since we're not going to go that route right now, I think it's a good time to wrap this episode up, and launch into some beach detailing. Before I do that, I'm going to keep this avenue as a road for now while I try to continue to develop this park area. I'll do the detailing at a higher speed to attempt to get this thing leveled up a little bit. I would like to delete this, convert this over to my boardwalk, get a tram in there. So we'll probably do that either. We'll see where we stand at the end of the detailing. But prior to that, let's just drop a couple of assets onto the beach so I can kind of talk about what it is I'm looking to do here. So I want periodic things, I really want, as you're walking along this boardwalk, to kind of be looking out, to the ocean, over the beach or whatnot. But I also realize that little beach bars and some volleyball courts and maybe little workout areas, almost like your muscle beaches in California, would be cool little assets to put on there. So let's think about doing some of those things. I think the asset I'm looking for is actually called a gym. Yeah, there we go, right there. So you figure you got this casino, maybe the casino would have some, as part of the hotel amenities, a gym, and then let's throw down one of these nice beach volleyball courts. Maybe we'll put 2 of those. And then probably one of our cafes, like a beach cafe. Like something, yeah, let's see. That's a little too big for what I'm looking for right now. Beach restaurant, yeah, something more along these lines. Maybe someplace you could get a little workout in. Maybe go get a little bite, a little protein shake, smoothie, something like that, right there. You figure those would be amenities provided by the casino. And then, as we get down here, oh, what happened to you? No customers. Well, looks like I have some power issues. Let's get a power plant in. Again, at some point, we're going to have to really look at this industrial area. Maybe we'll divide the beach in half and think about doing something like that in the near future. We'll see. For now, though, let's just reset this building. Double check and see where our hotels are at. Really need to work on improving our weekly profit. Oh, actually, no, we reached the 2nd star, so that's a good thing. What does that open up for us? A small hotel, an old inn, and a roadside. So I'm gonna guess we'll plop small hotels as we get the money for it in here, with some more commercial and such in the future. So just to continue on with this beach, let's do a couple more things. I'd like a beach restaurant. Yeah, there we go, something like that. That'll look pretty nice. Put the gym in already. Maybe a little souvenir booth right here. And then let's get down. One more. I don't like the 1x1s at all. Let's use this one. There. And then like the other one, I want to put in some of this space here where people would go eat. And then kind of bump it right up. So there, now we have these nice beachfront areas to grab a drink, grab something to eat, and ultimately once we get this park leveled up a little bit, and I don't care about the visitors to it, we'll get a bunch of invisible paths going throughout the beach so people can get back and forth. And I think that's probably going to wrap it up for now. It seems like a good point to break out some detailing, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching.